Evo or STI? What one is better in a straight line and what is better on the track? Leave your prediction in the comments section. Don't cheat, and let's find out. Welcome to the channel. I'm MacV, and we pump out a ton of content every day. I'm racing with subscribers, and we would love for you to join our racing community. If you're interested, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified when we go live. And add me on Xbox so I can actually invite you guys. So these cars are going to be homologated at A-Class 700. That is so you guys can actually use these builds online and get a feel for what is actually going to perform for you when you're competing with other people. I could do them stock, but that's not going to be as valuable because the only place you can race them stock is offline, and I don't think you guys really care too much about that. That being said, if you would prefer the comparisons to be stock, let me know in the comment section and I can do that for future videos. We're going to be running a series of tests. We're going to be taking their times on the drag strip at all 3 different distances. We're going to be looking at 3 different tracks this time rather than 2 like we usually do. One track is going to focus on a lot of straightaways and speed. One track is going to focus on changes in elevation and handling, and another track is going to be very tight and technical. Also a lot of handling, but more importantly, a lot of acceleration. So here we have the stats for that beautiful 2008 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. Now what's really important here is the power to weight ratio. When we look at horsepower, we have 1 horsepower for every 7.9 pounds. And when we look at foot-pounds of torque, we have 1 foot-pound of torque for every 7.6 pounds. Now remember these numbers when we compare them to the WRX. Here we have the stats on that WRX STI. And when we compare the power to weight ratio, we get a horsepower ratio of 1 horsepower to every 8 pounds and 1 foot-pound of torque to every 8.4 pounds. So it's actually kind of weird because the Subaru WRX has better acceleration, better speed, but it has less horsepower, less power to weight ratio, less torque to weight ratio. How is this even possible? Now if you're looking for the answer to that, I have no idea. It doesn't make sense. Maybe it's some aerodynamic stuff, or maybe it's just because Subarus are beasts, bro. I don't even know what to tell you guys. Regardless, we're gonna move on to these drag strip times. Going back to that Evolution, in the quarter mile, we ran an 11.896 compared to the Subaru WRX STI of a quarter mile time of 11.779. The WRX with less torque, less horsepower, it's heavier, won in the quarter mile. Explain. Somebody please explain in the comments. Guys, moving on to the half mile. Maybe things are going to change here, right? I mean, the Lancer has more torque, it has more power, it weighs less. Things must change here. So in the half mile, the Lancer Evolution ran 19.137 compared to the Subaru WRX STI at 18.720. Are you kidding me right now? How is this? I don't understand. Moving on, guys. The 1 mile run. 1 mile. Okay, when you win in the horsepower and torque department and you're lighter in the 1 mile, it has to show. It has to. But the Evo ran 31.349 and the WRX STI ran 30.515, beating the Evo by a big ass margin, almost a whole second. This is ridiculous. But we gotta remember, the Evolution has way better handling, so that does not mean that the WRX is gonna be faster on the racetrack. And now we get to the fun stuff, guys. The actual racing, putting down the lap times, starting off with the Evo again. In Circuit of the Americas West route, this track has a lot of hairpin turns, a lot of accelerating, stuff that honestly the WRX STI would probably be pretty good at. At Circuit of the Americas West route, the best lap for the Mitsubishi Evolution was 1 minute 42.55 seconds. Now I have to say, the Mitsubishi Evolution is so nice to drive. It's so confidence inspiring, it drives smooth, it shifts well. I like how the engine performs. I mean, the fact that the rev limiter is so far away really opens up a lot of opportunity for you. For example, if you're exiting on a turn and you don't want to shift into your next gear and accelerate more because you're going to go too wide, you can hold in that gear and you're not going to hit the rev limiter. You're going to continue to accelerate, but at a slower pace than if you shifted gears, and that actually has become much more valuable than I ever would have thought it was. You're going to see more of that on Rio. Now that 1 minute 42.55 seconds is going to compare to the Subaru WRX at Circuit of the Americas West route. The Subaru WRX pulled out 1 minute 42 seconds, .548. Are you, look at those times. 1 minute 42 seconds, .548 compared to 1 minute 42 seconds, .555. The WRX winning by the smallest margin imaginable. Now, one thing that is interesting to pull out is this was a track where I would have assumed the WRX would have took it. Having that better acceleration, I definitely would have thought would have helped a lot on all those hairpin turns. The Evo really held its ground, guys. The Evo did a great job just being an overall easy car to drive, putting down some consistent lap time. Moving on to Rio, which is quickly becoming my favorite track in the game. Let me know in the comment section, what is your guys' favorite track to race on? I really love the full circuit at Rio. So in the Evolution at Rio, our best lap was a time of 2 minutes 24.44 seconds. Solid. Let's see what happens when we move on to this WRX. Now Rio is definitely a lot of high-speed turns, a lot of handling, a lot of ability to deal with changes in terrain, which both these cars were amazing at, as you could probably expect. Completely ignored the changes in terrain. We're not fazed by them whatsoever. But in Rio, the WRX pulled out a time of 2 minutes 24 seconds. Are we serious? Again, they're literally coming down to the same second. 2 minutes 24 seconds, but then those decimal places take us to 9.45, which is going to be slower than the Lancer Evolution. These cars are so tight, it's so hard to tell what's the better car. Let me know, what do you guys think so far? Guys, the last track really favors the WRX, but the result may surprise you. So the WRX has that top speed, it has that acceleration, and Monza, which is going to be where our last test is, has big ass straightaways. Lancer Evolution performed amazing, handles amazing, just so fun to drive. I really started to fall in love with this car driving it, and you guys know I'm telling you the truth because I'm a Subi fanboy, bro. So long story short, the Lancer Evolution at Monza pulled out a lap time of 1 minute 52.23 seconds. Now the Subaru WRX at, a track that is really meant for it, with all of the speed and acceleration advantages, the Subaru WRX at Monza pulled out a time of 1 minute 52 seconds. Are you kidding me? Down to the same second, all three tracks. These cars are neck and neck, and what's crazy about them is they're very different, but they put down similar lap times for different reasons. The Evolution putting down great lap times because of its stability and ability to take corners at high speeds, and then the STI putting down good lap times because of that acceleration and that power that is, I don't know, some ghost power, because it literally has less power and less torque, but performs like it has way more. But long story short, guys, who won at Monza? Well, the WRX STI put down a time of 1 minute 52.166 seconds, beating the Lancer by, again, one of the smallest margins imaginable. This is almost completely insignificant. I mean, I guess it's a win, so it's significant, but come on. I mean, this isn't even a decimal place. This is 2 decimal places in. Guys, in conclusion, I have no idea what the better car is. You guys got to tell me, what car do you think is better in the comment section? What car is better overall? Of course, these two cars have different applications, and used in the right scenarios are going to be better than the other one, but even then it showed to be very slight. I would be excited to run some lap times at Maple Valley, a track where I really think that Lancer is going to pull away from the STI. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the races would still be close at Maple Valley? I mean, I don't know how, but these cars were literally right beside each other all day. And I mean, take a look at the drag strip times. On the drag strip, they were completely different. On the drag strip, you would have thought that the Evo was trash, but the Evo was great. And you know what the best part about it was? I'm tempted to say the Evo is the better car because you were putting down better lap times, because it was easier to drive a slower car. The slower car had better handling, better stability, you felt more confident in it, and not because it was slower, just because it had really good handling. You were taking turns at higher speeds, but you just felt more confident behind the wheel. And I mean, I was putting lap times down. This was a right-hand drive car, and I usually am not on the right side. I do these lap times in first person, as you guys can see. I'm always on the left side, so being on the right side was a little bit awkward, and sometimes I would scrape the walls a little bit and stuff like that. And I was still very, very competitive, and more importantly, more consistent than the WRX. The WRX, we did suffer a crash here and there on different tracks, but the Evo just held the track so well. And this is hard for me to say, guys. When it comes down to it in real life, I'm going with the WRX STI over the Evo 100%. I love Subarus, so you guys know I'm not being biased here. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, because we're gonna have more videos like this coming out. Let me know, give me some constructive criticism in the comments if you don't like where we homologated the cars to, if you prefer if they were stock, if you don't like how we went about upgrading them, whatever it may be, whatever criticisms you guys have, let me know, because that allows me to make the next video that much better for you guys. Take it easy. Remember, nobody loves their subs like this guy. I'll see you guys on live stream. I hope so. If you're new, we hope to have you there. I would love to race with you. Take it easy. I'm out.